Hi everybody, welcome back to my lessons in Apache OpenOffice 4. This is the second of 3 lessons. Today we will be talking about spreadsheets or Calc 4. Apache OpenOffice is free open source software available for download at openoffice.org. In order to get started today, I'm going to click on the spreadsheet icon. This will open up a brand new untitled document in OpenOffice Calc. Apache OpenOffice Calc is a free alternative to the Microsoft Office Excel program. A lot of the commands that you'll find up here on the menu bar are similar. You can click on them and a list of commands will drop down. If you have any experience with Excel, a lot of these should look pretty familiar. If you would like to explore the tools further, you can go to Help, click on What's This? A question mark will come up along your cursor there, and you can scroll over each tool icon to get a detailed description of what this tool does. Before we get started in our creative process today, I'd like to show you a few little nifty tips and tricks available with this program. Down here in the lower right corner we have this black box. This little black square is our autofill. We also have things called splits that are hiding over here in our right hand corners. You can click on this black bar and you can click and drag it down, and then you can click on the one in the lower corner and click and drag this over, and this allows you to view 4 different areas of your spreadsheet at once. So if you have formulas and cells that are utilizing data from, say, this area of the spreadsheet, you can see the numbers change and make sure that everything's accurate. In order to return these, you simply hover over them, click, and drag them back to the corners. You can adjust the width of your column or the height of your rows by simply left clicking up here, and that will select the entire column, and you can right click and adjust your column width. Same with the rows, you can right click and adjust your row height. There's also optimal options. And there's another way to do that. You can click here and drag. If you do the right click, it will give you numerical values, so you can toggle up, toggle down, and adjust the row heights to where you want them to be. Another feature that I'd like to show you is the properties box that's over here on the right hand margin of the spreadsheet. There's a little handle here. If you click on this, it will bring out your function wizard, and there's all different types of functions that you can choose from. The most commonly used ones are mathematical. In order to return this back to the margin, I simply click on the handle and it hides this property box. Some of the tools that we'll be working with in this tutorial are adjusting the font, bolding font. We'll also be adjusting the font size, and we'll be using autofill, and we will be using the background color to fill in individual cells, as well as the font color. The first thing we're going to build in this tutorial is going to be a times table. I'm going to get started on this by entering in some numerical values. I'll put a 1, a 2, and another 2. And then I'm going to use autofill to continue this pattern down to 12. And I'll use autofill to drag this pattern across the top row until we reach 12. And then because 2 times 2 is 4, I'm going to enter 4 in here. And if I select these top 4 cells, I can drag that same pattern down the column. With these 2 columns selected, I can use autofill and drag this over to 12, and it will continue the pattern. So right now we have all the values for an operational times table. Now we're going to format this so it's a little bit more user-friendly and change some of the background colors. The first thing we're going to do to make this a little bit more user-friendly is adjust the font size. So I'm going to select all of my data, and I'm going to increase this to font size, let's go with 26. And then I'd also like to center those numbers within the cells. So I'll click on Align Center Horizontally. Now we are going to adjust the background colors as well as the color of the first column and the first row. So I'm going to select all of my data here and I'm going to click on background color. I'm going to turn this into a nice blue. And I'd like to change the color of the top row. So I'll select that and I'm going to turn that into a nice yellow, as well as the first column here. The next thing I would like to do is bold the squares in this timetable, as well as change the color of those. So I'm going to Control and click, and this will select individual cells that I click on as I move across the page. So the first thing I wanted to do was change the background color. We'll go with a green, as well as bold those values. Now that we have the format of our table set up, I'm going to select the columns here across the top. I'm going to right click and select column width. I'd like to change this to 0.8. I'd also like to adjust the row height, so I'll click on OK. Go to row height, and I'd like to adjust this to 0.8 as well. These are pretty squared off, and our data values are centered within the cell. Now I would like to see what this will look like in a printed version, so I'm going to click on File and go down to Page Preview. And as you can see, we have the name of the tab, which was Sheet 1, as well as a footer. So we're going to go to Format Page and go to the Footer tab, and we'll turn the footer off. We'll click on the Header tab and turn the header off. We'll click on OK. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of values that are no longer on this page. So what you can do is adjust your margins. You can click on the plus sign here to zoom in a little bit more, or click on the minus sign to zoom out. And now we have all of our values in one page. At this point, you can save this file as an Apache OpenOffice document, or you can export this file as a PDF. So this concludes the creative process in today's lesson. Again, I would encourage you to explore the menu bar and the tools further. Don't forget about our Help menu here and What's This, where you click on it and the question mark appears next to your cursor. Then you can simply scroll over the tool icons to get a detailed description of each one of those. And our next presentation will be in Apache OpenOffice Presentations, which is similar to Microsoft Office PowerPoint. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned a lot of new skills today, and we'll see you at the next lesson.